The first roundtable was held in Intersolar Europe in Munich in 2015, and it proved an instant success. And since then, we've taken the concept around the world, starting in the US, and just last week we held a very successful roundtable in SPI in Las Vegas. And in October, we go to Taiwan to take it to the PV Taiwan show there. But first and foremost, we are here in India, and we want to talk about issues concerning quality in installation and also examining module quality as well. So identifying, tackling, and finding ways to improve quality is something that the solar industry is becoming more and more keen to examine, explore, and get a better handle of. My question is, when building a solar plant, what in your view should be the appropriate sharing of responsibilities and risk between suppliers, installers, and plant owners?
I think quality comes out as tops. I would say only second to cost. But today, I think it's becoming more and more evident that cost is secondary. I think quality becomes paramount, because it's only when you have the right quality that you would have an acceleration in the installation footprint itself. Some of the common myths that you spoke about, the 3 or 4 participants in the solar value chain. I think the common myths that rule each one of us is that the tier 1 module manufacturers are going to give you the best quality. Mm-hmm. Second is, warranties mean that I have peace of mind and I get good sleep at night. And third is that quality costs money. So if I was to go out and actually ask for quality, or if I demand quality from my upstream suppliers, whether they're materials manufacturers or module manufacturers, it's going to cost money, and it's obviously going to impact my cost.
What India now looks like China 5 to 8 years ago, okay? Everyone wants cheap stuff, yes. Everyone wants to drive down LCOE, because the electricity price here is pretty low in China, also low in India. But problem is that what we learned from China market is that cost is not just one part of the LCOE. You have to look to the whole lifetime, the performance of the modules for the LCOE. Here I share some interesting findings we did in the China market, and hopefully will benefit India, our friends.
Yeah, Mr. Fu, you said that the glass-on-glass modules had trouble, but you didn't say what that trouble was. You just showed a statistic saying they fail often, but you didn't say the failure mode. The bending itself is not a failure mode, so what was the failure mode on the ones that were in the first slide, or the first statistic?
Yeah, I'm not sure I get your point, but basically what we found the field is a tensile piece of the double glass module made by German company back to last 90s. Okay, pretty good quality stuff, but the performance in the field is that the totally no power output. When we check the modules, there's significant delamination of the EVA encapsulant and the moisture ingression from the edges. Okay, double glass doesn't mean the moisture do not attack your module. They will slowly attack from the edges and corrode your modules. And actually, EVA after UV agent, they will release a lot of acid. They will corrode your module. Usually when they use the batteries, this acid will go out in the daytime. But for the double glass, it's trapped the acid, the moisture inside.
Cable, but especially also connectors can have a really huge impact also on the efficiency of a PV project, and on the long time reliability means also return on investment. And you really have to weight or balance your OPEX with also the CAPEX to come to a good levelized cost of energy over the years. There is no compatibility between 2 different brands. That's really clear, and we also always say this in our statements, that only original MC4 connectors manufactured by us are compatible. That means when you have MC4 original connectors at the module, then you also have to do the installation with original MC4 connectors.
And every process and every component has a critical to quality parameters. Basically, these are all monitored by using various statistical tools, which will give, based on their significance and based on their impact on the overall the execution cycle, we will monitor rigorously, and it will give us like, the product, high quality product and reliable product for long term.
I actually did have one question regarding that. So I just wanted to ask you, in your experience, how often you see misalignment errors in installation and how severe their impacts can be.
Yeah, I think it's make a lot of difference installing a tracker by a skilled or trained installer versus unskilled or any other, untrained person. Basically, every tracker component has a precious and tolerance. Enough tolerances are given everywhere, basically to give the comfort to the execution team at the sites. All that they need is to understand the tracker, and also, it is very important. Basically, one wind event can really, damage huge damages. So I think it's very important to follow all these specifications, especially, and also training. That's where the training is really helping us. We have almost 200. Plus installers trained with our tracker now in India.
What can companies do wrong as an O&M provider?
Well, I think one is that the fact is that the plan isn't there. So, what is actually going to be done in accordance with the manufacturer's requirements? So, you'll have from Next Tracker operating procedures, you'll have from the inverter manufacturer the operation procedures, and whether they're doing that themselves or just overviewing what the original manufacturer is doing themselves, to make sure that they're in compliance with all those points. Because that's often what we do, is we go in and check to make sure to see what they've actually been doing and if they've documented properly what they've been doing, because otherwise you're never really sure what has been done on a yearly basis. The amount of money you need to spend in terms of quality assurance is really a pittance when you're talking about the amount that you're investing in CapEx.
It's actually the point, how good is the quality of your PV modules in the field? And LayTec here is working very close together with companies like PI Berlin and other institutes. We are here working with a company, PV Guider, a consultant in the industry, because giving us independent feedback about module defects in the field, what can happen. And you see here some typical pictures. What you probably realize here in India as well is delamination effects shown at module level on rooftop installation of power plants and others. So all these kind of defects, what you see here on module level, on rooftop installation and power plants, are necessarily need to be investigated, need to define the root cause. Only if 3% efficiency loss in a 2 megawatt solar power plant is about a loss of $2 million per year. So all of you working in the field, you want to increase the efficiency of your cells, you want to have homogeneously distributed cells in your module to increase the efficiency overall. So this system is providing a lot of information, as we as a company provide as well. So the questions I want to raise here is, how good do you know the quality on module level? And how good do you know your quality on cell level?
This is where we do our development, our engineering and our programming. Also some pictures of that. This is the bird's eye view on the company. Before we ship our machines to our customers and before we start a project with a customer, we are able to test all the cells, the components, the ribbon or the flux the customer is requiring. And so we have some testing results before the production starts on customer side. What you see here is a 25 megawatt production. So it's a small size production because our target is not to have a mass production with modules, but to supply stringers.
We find stuff every day and this creates a higher risk score. However, when we inspect the product, they get a very good score. Why? Because they reject product and send it to other clients, but not to our clients. So what they submit to us is pretty good. So you have a very mixed picture, a very interesting way to see how complex the supply chain in PV module manufacturing is.